Nice shirt you got on.
I know. Nice design you designed.
I'm a clever fella. Clever fella, I tell you.
Occasionally. Occasionally.
I have my moments.
Every now and again,
Uh,
yeah.
no, so I was really like literally 30 minutes before we were coming on here. I got a phone call and I was phone call from Danny, and I'm like, all right, I gotta prepare. So I get off the phone and I messaged you and I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna talk about. And so I put down a couple of quick things to talk about. We get on here. We're having a good conversation. I'm enjoying it. It feels like the same conversations you and I have at a bar every time we hang out together. I look up and we're at 44 minutes. It's like, holy shit. How did
Hmm.
we just do that?
Yeah. Very carefully. We talk a lot of shit about a lot of things, you know?
Got off topic a little bit, but I think
Surprised we
that's
didn't
kind of
smoke
fun.
meat. I'm surprised we didn't talk about well, there hasn't really been any like Marvel DC stuff, right?
I think Daredevil dropped today.
That's true. I'm gonna have to start watching that.
Born Again season 2 dropped today. The trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day dropped last week, and
I
it
saw that. It
became
looked weird. It looked depressing.
it is the biggest trailer viewed on YouTube ever. It has 700 and something million views like in the first week, and it beat out what was it? What was it? Oh, it beat out Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine had the record at 400 something million views, and Spider-Man Brand New Day was already over 700 million.
Well, in the Deadpool Wolverine, all of the Deadpool marketing are like their own individual creative shorts that like
Hmm.
are interesting in and of themselves because they're so self-aware, right? Like his whole thing is he's self-aware. So like those are interesting to watch anyway. Trailer thing. I know there's like a whole subculture that watches like all the trailers and judges them and all that stuff. I know. I just can't get very excited about trailers. I did watch the Lanterns trailer though, and it looks rad with Coach Taylor.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Hearts, whatever. Right hearts, life hearts, clear eyes,
Yeah,
clear eyes.
full hearts, clear eyes, can't lose.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Can't
Yeah,
lose. Yeah.
I can't wait till
Yeah.
he has to say it. And they're at like
I
a
know.
high school
There's no way he's
football.
going to say it.
They're
No,
they're at
I
like a
think
high school football field with like a meteor strike or something. I'm like, oh boy, here it is. Get out
I've,
there.
I've, I've thought about we should totally have like Dylan Panther like shirts that we wear to Georgia State
Hmm,
Panther games.
that could be cool.
I think they use it's like the Purdue P, but they do like gold or yellow P on a blue back on a blue jersey, whatever it is.
We could do the
Yeah,
full hearts, whatever thing though. Something like that. Georgia State Panthers instead of Dylan, and do the G sort of like the P, maybe.
yeah. If we do that, we also have to do the Ted Lasso, the sign that he had above the door or whatever. I
What
can't
did
remember
it
what it says
say? I
now.
love Ted Lasso. It's such a like a font of positivity and wonderful. I don't know. I loved that show so much.
While also at the peak of your enjoyment, just absolutely hits you in the feels and makes you depressed and sad and feel bad for the character and everything at the same time. So
Well, it's real, and then to have somebody so positive going through hardship and dealing with it in such a way, it's such a good show. It's such a good
I'm looking
show.
for. I'm not excited.
They shouldn't
I have
have the extra, but I'll watch it.
I have reservations about this fourth season coming out, but I'm gonna watch it. And Kim is she's teased me with wanting to watch Ted Lasso, so I'm like, come on, babe, let's do it. But we're watching Shrinking and the new Scrubs and some YouTube show we're
I
watching as
can't.
our.
New Scrubs does nothing for me. Just nothing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. The only thing I don't like about new Scrubs is looking at everybody makes me remember how old I am because like they're all aged now, and I'm like, oh, I'm old too.
Do you remember though? There was a time when Zach Braff was like gonna be the next thing.
Hmm.
And then he just never stopped being his character in Scrubs, and Turk just never stopped being his character in Scrubs,
I
even
think
though
they.
he was better in Clueless.
I think. Oh yeah. I think wasn't he just like Turk in high school and Clueless?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yep.
No, I think that. Zach Braff and shit, I can't remember his name.
Turk.
Yeah, Turk. They are actors who effectively play themselves, and those types of actors a lot of times get a bad rep. But when you're an awesome person, who cares? Like, I will watch them play themselves all day and all night, and I love it.
They
I
did a bunch of
thoroughly
commercials where they literally played their characters even, like, not they played themselves. Like,
the T-Mobile commercials.
they just milked Scrubs for all it was worth, and then and all the way up until they got renewed, which took
Well, yeah,
forever,
they did,
but
because apparently they let anybody have a podcast now. The two of them had, a podcast where they would do, like, rewatches of their show, and it
oh
was
my
called,
god. Jesus
I
Christ,
think
that's so embarrassing.
I think it's a thing. It's a thing that a lot of, like, even, like, these sitcom people are doing now, but
I know the New Girl people have a podcast.
that's it. I feel like that's too recent, but, like, I think their podcast name is, Fake Doctors Real Friends is the name of their podcast.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that. That's nice and positive.
Actually, that reminds me. I need to there was a buddy of mine who, when Scrubs aired originally, he would not stop talking about Scrubs, and I'm like, whatever, whatever, whatever. And then I ended up watching it on streaming years later, and I reached out to him. I'm like, dude, you were right. The show is fantastic. I have not reached out to him yet since New Scrubs came out, but New Scrubs is good. Shrinking is really good. Shrinking solid, and it's
I
got Harrison Ford in it.
I did Apple TV stuff. I did Mr. Mercedes, which is a couple
Never even
years
heard
old
of it.
now, but it's a Stephen King adaptation. It's good. It's serial killer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to another podcast the other day, and they made a comment about, like, how saying serial killer, like, women are big into a lot of women are really big into the true crime type stuff, and it's like men watch things because they love it. We watch barbecue things, we watch comedy things, we watch car things, we watch things we love. Women watch shows about murderers and serial killers. Do they love serial killers?
I'm pretty interested in it. I don't know. But I have dated people who were a little too into it, you know, had me side
Yeah.
eyeing, being like, am I going to be the first victim or the second?
Yeah. Oops.
We don't talk anymore.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
All right. So, I wanted to talk to you and Tim. I wish he was here to do about what we can do once basketball kind of comes. Once we have a basketball coach, what are we going to talk about for 3 months, 4 months?
Man, that's a good question. We always find a way. I mean, there's interviews, right? I mean, I don't, I we shouldn't call them interviews. We should have like sit downs or hangouts or something with
Round tables, hangouts.
hangouts maybe. You know?
Yeah. Something. Yeah. Bar talk.
Yeah, yeah, where we
Yeah.
just
So
like kind of shoot the shit with interesting people.
well, so I thought about that as I thought some of our Sunbelt podcast brethren we could talk to. Obviously, we could talk to some former players or people associated with Georgia State, something like that, and just and maybe that part is actually a separate thing, not the actual weekly thing. I don't know, but
Well, and maybe even people who you might not think are very interesting, like on his face. Like we're not getting the AD or the head coach, but we're getting, what's his face, who is an intern in the marketing department or whatever.
he probably won't be allowed to talk to us, but doesn't mean we can't ask him.
We can always ask because we did have what's his face on, who was doing the production of the
Will
coaches. Yeah, we had him come on, and they let that
he had to get
happen.
special he had to get special permission to come on too. And
Yeah.
he wasn't allowed to drink while he was on either.
Well, was he old enough anyway? I don't. I'm not
I think he was
sure.
old. I think he was a grad student, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, he was old enough for sure. I'm so bad with names, but I have had so many conversations with that guy when the like pre tailgates, before everybody gets there because they were always out there.
The
And he's
10th
got
guy.
yeah. He
I think it's Connor.
That sounds right. That sounds right. And
Yeah.
I hope he's not listening and is I mean, I hope he's listening. I hope he's not terribly offended because I'm just really bad with names. But he has so many good ideas for Georgia State and like how to run the athletic department, like different things that you could do.
Well, then he'd definitely not be allowed to come on the show then.
I would just love to like pick his brain on some of those things, like more publicly, just to be like, hey, so like things like that might be pretty cool, having people on who aren't necessarily like, we don't want to have Eli on.
I asked Eli to come on when he first started, and he said no. He doesn't want to
Oh,
do
you don't
that
want to
kind of
have.
stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
marketing is terrible news.
doesn't want to promote the program at all. What if we did like
No shit.
we kind of announced it ahead of time, like gave a week or 2 weeks notice, and we did just like a call-in show, and we let Georgia State fans just come in and shoot the shit for a few minutes and move on. Next caller, please, type thing.
Yeah, we could do a call in. I think combining that with like a Ben episode too, just being like, hey, we're gonna have like, somebody who is pretty plugged in on. We can ask some
Yeah,
questions.
I thought we could also.
He pulls his punches a little bit, but he's pretty good about saying things, even if he doesn't say them all the way, like about giving you information that you can read between the lines and things like that. So
Ben, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I thought there's some different pods that cover the Sun Belt as a whole. Maybe you could just have them to kind of get a outsider's perspective on things. We have some out of conference opponents that we could maybe talk to ahead of before the season starts. Get some UCF guys or get the Kennesaw guys on to talk about stuff.
Yeah, I just think it's more relevant like that week before, and when
Yeah,
people know
doesn't
more
mean
about it.
doesn't mean we couldn't do it week before
That's
as
true.
well.
That's true.
More of a shoot the shit at a bar, less of game time talk, and just be like, hey, what's going on at your program, or how does it feel to have been in a conference with us and now in the Big 12, assholes?
They're like nothing's happening. That's why we're here, and we're like, oh yeah, nothing's happening. That's why you're here. That's why we invited you. Right. So anyway, how about that lanterns trailer?
Exactly.
What do people
We
down
should
in
have.
South Florida think about that?
Can I use your in-state discount to Disney World, please, to get my family in?
Oh man. Yeah, no, I mean I definitely I don't know, I got to give it a little bit more thought. But we always make it. We've made it for what,
We
6,
always
7
find
years
something to
now.
talk about, but we've yeah, was it 19? Yeah, so this is going on year 7.
7. Yeah.
We've always found stuff to talk about, but I thought when football season is in full swing, and even basketball to a slightly lesser extent, our conversations are our time is limited, and it's very, very much about what's going on with the game we just played, the game that's coming up, and everything. So I felt like during the non-basketball, non-football seasons, and especially the dead zone, when there's like the 2 months there's no sports being played at all, would be a perfect time to kind of like maybe get Dave Cohen back on or somebody, and just kind of have something that's different and new, and things we can do without just talking about this game or that game or this team or that team every week. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, definitely. Give me a week to think about it.
do I need to remind you to think about it tomorrow?
Yes. Yeah, and
Okay.
probably next Tuesday at around, whatever time. Probably need another reminder.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Is it? It's
All
not
right.
fair. I don't think that's fair enough, but it is what it is. I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do better.
I do think for the past 4 years, you, Tim, and me have said we got to get together in the off season and figure out our strategy for the upcoming season, and we've never done it. And a lot of it has fallen on me because I use 3 kids as my excuse. But
I tried really hard last year and even went months of trying and could not get it to happen. So I was like, you know what? It's hard to keep trying, but I do have a commitment to you to have a newsletter, and I will be working on that.
this will be the 3rd or 4th year we've attempted that as well. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right. With enough, we have someone chimed in. They're viewing. So I think that's a good last call. Right?
Sounds right.
I can tease that. I can tease it. I think we will have some kind of information about Georgia State facilities and things next week. on the regular show. Maybe heard some stuff tonight, but can't promise anything. Also, some other stuff. Anyhow, if you made it this far, you'll listen next week, anyways. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll talk to you next week. Say goodbye, guy.
Bye, guy.
You do your best